Time now for the game preview presented by Ticketmaster here with head coach Kevin Stefanski. You guys didn't get the win out in Denver, but it was an explosive showing on offense. So what were some of the takeaways out of that game?
There's some good things, and obviously putting up a lot of yards and points. Had some great individual efforts by a bunch of the guys, but ultimately disappointing not to come out of there with a win. But when you do look at that offensive side, and obviously Jerry, his ability to make plays after the catch and run by people was on full display. I thought he was outstanding. He really took advantage of some great matchups, and then he also won his fair share versus a really good corner in Patrick Surtain.
You talked about some of those individuals, Jerry Jeudy, one of them, Elijah Moore, another one. Does that help you build a foundation for that wide receiver room to really get things going in that game?
We trust those guys, and we're going to give them as many opportunities as we can in different ways. And I think it's our job as coaches to utilize them to the best of their talents. And there's things that Jerry does really well. There's things that Elijah does really well, Dave, Njoku. So for us, that's the fun part. You get up on the board and you say, okay, here's a concept we like. Who's where? Who do you want to put here? And I think having guys that are versatile and having guys that are smart is really important.
That run game looked a little different. Jerome Ford getting a lot of opportunities when Nick Chubb was on the sidelines. What went into that, and what were some of the takeaways from that, knowing that you want to get that run game going as the weeks go on?
We continue want to be able to run the ball more efficiently. We're not there yet, not for a lack of effort. There's things that we want to continue to do better. And then for us, we see Nick and Jerome as really 1A and 1B. We trust both those guys. I think there's games where Nick is going to get the bulk of them. There's games that Jerome may get the bulk of them, but we really see them as a two-headed monster, if you will.
All right, you're turning the page. Another game, AFC North, the second matchup with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was one game removed. Does that make it more difficult, or maybe is there a benefit to having seen them so recently and playing them again?
There's definitely going to be adjustments, and that's every week there's adjustments. How and what exactly they look like, we'll find out on Sunday.
All right, look at that offense. Russell Wilson, what was he able to show you in that game that you played against him?
Russell's still playing at a very high level, making great decisions. He's taking care of the ball. He's getting the ball to their playmakers. He really can work every area of the field. We've talked a lot about his deep ball, which he's always been one of the best in the game of the deep ball. And then he's also making great decisions.
All right, Calvin Austin has concussion. They're working through. He may or may not play on Sunday, but he had a big game against you guys. How do you look to contain that if he does play?
He's terrific. He's very, very fast, and that's something that you have to be aware of, his speed, his quickness. We're aware of him in the kick return game as well. When he's out there on offense, they have a variety of ways to get him the ball, but you really have to find out where number 19 is in the formation.
And then George Pickens, obviously an explosive player, plays with a lot of emotion in a game that's probably going to be chippy. How do you guys navigate defending him?
He's a great player. Obviously, we just have to play our game, but understand how he plays, and it's very physical, just how big he is. So there's going to be 50-50 balls that we have to have the mentality that we're going to come down with it. All
right, between Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, what is the defensive mindset, knowing that you don't want them to get the run game going while on offense you're looking to establish your own?
Well, you have to gang tackle. Najee's obviously, as we know, really big back, physical. Warren is really, really talented, a guy we have a ton of respect for. They can utilize both guys in the pass game. So one person is not going to take away their run game. It really has to be on all 11 type thing.
All right, defense, we know TJ Watt. He went up against Jack Conklin. How did he do? What's his mindset having to face him so short in between?
Jack's played really well for us this season. Obviously, playing against TJ Watt is a huge, huge task, and kind of goes back to the previous question. It's not a one-man job. There's not many times that just mano-a-mano. You're going to slide to him. You're going to chip his side. But there are times that Jack will be left alone, and Jack has done a nice job. Having said that, they have a really good pass rush, go down the line. These are good players that we have to be ready for.
Highsmith is a guy that had an ankle injury, didn't have to face him, could be back on Sunday. Does that change your game plan, or was that added in when you faced him the first time?
You know, Herbig, number 51, is talented as well. So we understand that they have guys that can rush from all areas, but we have a ton of respect for these guys.
All right, special teams. The conditions aren't going to be the same as they were here in that snow globe game. So what is the preparation in terms of the punt game, the kick game, and that coverage, knowing that it's not a snow globe?
Right, that second half really was hard to see. So as you watch the tape, there's only so much you can gather from there, because we were making adjustments, as were they, both in the kicking game and in offense and defense. So we'll try to figure out early what some of the adjustments that they're having may be, but they're very well coached. They have a bunch of good players.
It's a long-time rivalry. We talked about that chippiness. What is the message to the team, knowing that things can get heated out there and you want the you want that competition, but to keep it smart.
It's an emotional game. It's always going to be, especially when you're going up against your rival in an in-division game like that. So we have to keep the game about our business, keep it about us, and make sure we're just doing our job.
All right, thanks so much, Coach, and good luck on Sunday.
Thanks, Cam.